Hey you guys, this is Connie. I'm popping in before I start my video because I misspoke on two things, and usually I'll pop up the words on the screen to tell you my mistake, but I struggle with figuring out how to do that every time I do it, so I thought I'd just pop on here real quick and tell you what I messed up. I showed you a hat that I had made and I called the yarn Jiffy. Where I got that name, y'all, I don't have a clue. It's the Felici or whatever yarn. And I've called it Jiffy yarn in my last two videos. And I have no idea why. Because I don't even have any Jiffy yarn. I've never even heard of Jiffy yarn. And also I show y'all a little afghan that I'm making Rowan. And I said it's from Daisy Yarn Crafts. And it's Daisy Farm Crafts. But I didn't want to have to go to the trouble to pop up the words because, you guys, I struggle with that every time. But I just wanted to let you know that I made those two mistakes, and probably many more, but I did notice that. And I thought I'd just tell you in a video instead of trying to go to all that trouble. So anyway, you guys, my videos start right after this. Thank you. Hey everybody, it's Connie with Connie's Crafty Corner. I hope everybody's having a great day today. It's been a pretty good day for me. I have been plugging along, working on a couple projects this morning, and I thought, you know, it's been a couple of weeks since I've done a video, and I need to make a video. I'll be honest with you guys, the reason I don't make any more videos than I do is that I don't want to, you know, make up stuff to talk about, or, you know, my life is just so, you know, kind of boring, and I don't really have a whole lot going on. I mean, there's a lot of things that go on in the background that I don't talk about, you know, with my extended family and stuff. But, you know, and I think, gosh, I'm really not getting any projects done. I've really had problems finishing things. I really have. It's just that time of year, you know. Here's how I am, and I don't know how anybody else is, but let me know in the comments below if any of you guys like this. If I have something upcoming, it could be a doctor's appointment, a hair appointment, a trip, an event, anything like that, it feels like I'm stalled until I get to that thing. And I don't know if it's my social anxiety or just who I am as a person, but like, you know, I've had a doctor's appointment, I've had a hair appointment, I had the bug man come, and I had the gutter man come because we had some new gutters put in. Well, not new gutters, the things that go over top of them. Our gutters were so clogged that the water wouldn't even go down the gutters. They would just run over the top of the roof line. And it was just, you know how that is. It just causes a mess. Eventually, it'll start getting into the foundation and all that stuff. So, and let me tell you, that's not cheap. What we did is they came out and gave us a quote for over $6,000, you guys. And what they were going to do was put the leaf guards on those filter things across the gutters and clean out our 4 or 5 downspouts we got. Now, the downspouts were totally clogged with acorns and leaves because we got a bunch of that around us, our house. And we told them, no, we can't. Who's got $6,000 to clean your gutters out and put leaf guard things on? But they called us back in a couple days, and it was reduced greatly. Still very expensive, but it was like a third of that price. But anyway, we've had all that going on, which I know y'all may think I'm ridiculous, but I have anxiety built up to that. I do, and it kind of makes me not get a lot of things done. And so, just a lot of that going on. Plus, we had the night race at Bristol. And if anybody lives near Bristol or knows anything about racing, that's a huge event here in this area. And my husband's brother and nephew were coming to our home, and I thought they were going to spend the night. So I had severe anxiety about that because they've never been to my house. And I thought, Lord, you know, I'm still using a step ladder, one of those little short, you know, one about this high, as an end table because I still haven't bought furniture. And I know it don't matter, but you know, you don't want somebody to come to your house and the first thing they see is you don't have half your furniture. So, and I know that's ridiculous. And I'm the kind of person, I want my house really clean before somebody comes. And so I had to go around and change all the beds, which they were clean. They just hadn't been slept in like 2 or 3 months. And I wanted to make them fresh. So I did all that and had to do all the vacuuming and all that stuff. Just extra housework I wouldn't normally do. So that happened. And you know, I told you guys that Sarah wasn't going to be able to come because her husband actually came. And Garrett, I could care less if he's here and sees all that because he loves me and I know it, so it don't matter. But Sarah was supposed to come with Rowan last weekend, and she wasn't going to get to come because one of her best friends from college, who has come to everything Sarah's had, showers for baby, wedding, was in her wedding, was a sorority sister and all that stuff, was having a baby shower. And Sarah felt like she needed to be there, and I understood that completely. But unfortunately and fortunately, little Rowan woke up Saturday with 104 temperature, extremely sick. And, well, no, that's a lie. He had a really high fever. He just acted a little tired. So they took him to urgent care and got him tested for everything, and he ended up being nothing showing, ears, nothing. No, the flu, COVID, nothing showing up. He just had a really high temperature. So Sarah thought, well, you know, I'll just go to Mama's. He can be sick here or he can be sick at Mama's. So Rowan got to come and stay Saturday night here, and they left Sunday, but it was so nice to get to see him. He was a little, you could tell he didn't feel good, and he did run a temperature to probably about 100 later on in the day, but he did fine. But it was so nice to get to see him. So that's what I did this past weekend, was play with my little grandson. And other than that, I've gotten some things done. Let me see if there's anything else I was going to tell you guys. I know there's a lot I want to talk about, but it's like I get this phone in front of my face and I forget half the things I want to say. But let me show you guys what I've done. And I think I'm going to show you something that I showed you in my last video, but I can't remember. So I'm just going to show you again. But I did finish a hat. I think I showed y'all this, but I'm going to show you again. It was that one, I know I did because I think it's in my video, my thumbnail. But this is the hat I made. It's the Ross hat, and I made it out of that Jiffy worsted weight. So I'm not going to go any further into this, but I know I showed you that. But I'm on a hat making kick, so I do have another one to show you, if I can find where I've put it. Okay, I made Rowan one. His birthday's this weekend, and we're going to get to go to his birthday party. I'm so excited. Now, I do have him some toys, but I did want to have two other things made for him. But one of them's a complete epic fail, and the other one I'm hoping I finish, but I'm not sure I will. So I went ahead and made him this little hat. And it's, I think it's called a bank head. I will list that in the description below. I made the toddler size. I think it was the second size up, and I think they called it toddler. Or they may have called it, I don't know. But anyway, this is the size, and that's the top. I love this pattern. I'm telling you guys, I love it. And I'll show you the yarn I used. I love this yarn. It's 100% acrylic. And it is called High Sierra Stripe. So, and it kind of reminds me of camouflage, but it does have that kind of blue color, bluish gray, or whatever color you'd call that. I think it's blue in it. But I absolutely love this yarn. This stuff knits amazing. I've crocheted with it before, and it crochets great too, but it knits amazingly. It's just got a nice bounce to it, and it just feels good when you're knitting with it. And he's gonna get some of my DNA because I got hair. I can see I've pulled no telling how many out, but I'll show it to you one more time. There's the crown. I like the way the decreases are done on this. And then I'll show you, there it is. It's got a really wide brim. That's the brim. But it worked up super fast. I could have finished this in one day because, I mean, it didn't take no time to do this because it is a worsted weight yarn, but I needed to cut a knot out of the yarn, and I was just too lazy to go upstairs and get a pair of scissors. I thought I had some downstairs with me, but I couldn't find them, but I found them this morning and finished this hat this morning. So, but I'm just going to show you, these are the needles I used, the Chigoon. It's just that little set, and these are the 4-inch because I like to make hats, and it's easier to make a hat with the 4-inch needles. So that's what I used to make that. And I thought I had my DPNs that I use so I could show them, because I had one of you guys asking me about them, but they're the Knit Picks, the wooden Knit Picks DPNs is the one I use, and I have the set. But I love this hat so much that I am going to make Garrett his daddy one. And here's where I've started. This is just like 2 rounds. I don't think I've even went through a whole 2 rounds yet. But this is how it starts. There's my beginning, and there's my middle because I was counting stitches and I always put stitch markers on to count. But that's what I've got done so far of his, and I'm going to have it finished before Saturday, which is the party. And I could just sit down tonight and finish this. These things go super fast. So I've got that done. That's a work in progress, and I've got that finished object. Okay, let me show you what I've got done on the quilts. You can kind of see here. And I've got to deliver this next week. And you know, 2 weeks ago, you guys, I was going to get this done and have it done. Now, of course, I don't. But I went ahead and attached the binding. Now, I attach my binding in the front, then wrap it around and tack it down in the back. And every time I look up a tutorial, most people attach it to the back and wrap it to the front and tack it down. But I don't know why I don't do that. But it makes sense with this quilt to do it from the front to the back because the binding actually is going to match the back. And I think it'll be, you know, if it's not perfect, it won't be as bad. But this is how it's looking from the front. See, I've got this. I cut this a little wide because, you know, when my aunt made this quilt, she wasn't in the greatest of health. And there's a lot of issues with the edges, you know, like it didn't quite. Let me see if I can find an edge I'm talking about. You know, it wouldn't be a video if I didn't knock something off. Let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. Of course, I won't be able to find it, but anyway, it's like, you know, this right here may not have went all the way clean to the edge. You know, where it meets here, there may have been a big gap. I know there's one I can show you. And y'all may not even care about this, you guys, but for some reason, I feel like I just have to show you. Let's see if I can find one. Okay. See what I'm talking about, how it doesn't go all the way even? And if I cut it off to where it was, it would have cut a whole lot of the block off. So I made a little extra wide binding, you know, to go in the front to kind of cover that, which I think it looks fine. And I'm glad I used this binding because I like the way it blends with the quilt. So that's a work in progress I've got going on. And this is something else I've got to finish by this weekend. And it's Rowan's quilt. I attached his binding, and all I've got to do is go around and tack it down. Now, I kind of thought about just sewing it down with a sewing machine because it's further, it's bigger in the back than it is the front, and I could just run a line through there. But I know it may drive me crazy if I do that because I'm just weird that way, which I know a lot of people do that, and it's perfectly fine. And nobody would notice but me. But I just love hand sewing and just sitting there in the process of doing it. So I still am on the fence about it because I've got an even bigger project that I haven't even started that has got to be done by Friday, and today's Wednesday. So let me share that with you. Well, I'll share that last because I got one other work in progress that I started. You know, I have started at least one project that I've showed you guys with this yarn, and maybe more, but I'm determined this year to get this done for Christmas. And this is the yarn I'm using. It's the Burnett Softy Chunky, and it is the color, I think, mustard, let me tell you. Nope, glowing gold. It looks a lot brighter in person than it does. I mean, y'all are seeing it brighter than it actually is. It's a little bit more dull. It's more of a mustardy color, but it looks a lot more gold. But, oh, here's those DPNs I was telling you about, the Knitter's Pride. And it's just a set of double pointed needles. And I love these. I don't love knitting with wood needles as much as I do the others, but these are wonderful for DPNs because I feel like they don't slip out as easy. Now, I do love my zing needles that I've got as DPNs. They're wonderful too. So, but they have kind of a little matte finish to the biggest part of the needle, and I feel like it helps grip onto the yarn. Because if you've ever used a DPN, you know what I'm talking about. You leave some of them hanging while you're working on part of your project. Well, here I go again with this yarn knitting. I started a blanket, it's been months and months ago, called the Lincoln Baby Blanket, and I ended up messing it up, so I just quit doing it and decided just to start another pattern. And I got probably about 14 rows done, and I counted my stitches 2 or 3 times, y'all, and I was right on pattern for the number of stitches I needed, but for some reason, it wasn't working out. And I went stitch by stitch and checked it because I loved the pattern. I can't remember what it was, but it was off a stitch or two, and I could not figure out what to do. So I got frustrated. I pulled it back, and it started out with just a garter stitch for the edging, and I thought, you know, that looks nice. I'm just gonna keep on doing the garter stitch. So this is working up pretty fast. I've not worked on this in over a week, but I love having a mindless knitting project. Now my goal is to finish this for Christmas for my daughter-in-law because she loves this color, and I bought this yarn for her for a project like 2 years ago, and I've not done anything with it. But it's gonna be about a lap size blanket. It's kind of hard to show you with it on the needles like this, but this is how much I've got done. And this only took me a couple of nights of knitting to do. Y'all, I don't know why it's twisted over like that, but I promise you it's not twisted. And I love it. It's a big, chunky, soft. Love it, love it. And I've got these Chai-Goo needles on it. If I'm not careful, it's gonna pull them out, and there I will be having to start over. But this was I don't know, it's not a work in progress when you got stuff you've started and haven't worked on, but this is something I've had in a project bag forever to get started on. So I feel good about getting that bag out and getting started on it. And I've got another project before I show you my last thing I was going to tell you. You know, I don't know if any of you guys remember, but a year and a half ago or more, I bought yarn to make Rowan a baby blanket. And, you know, I was going to knit him a blanket, and it was just going to be perfect and all that stuff. Well, you know, he turns a year old Sunday, and I still haven't made the blanket. So I thought, okay, I'm going to get started, and I'm going to just crochet a blanket. Oops, y'all, I knocked the thing. I don't know if y'all see it or not, but so I found a pattern by Daisy Yarn Crafts, and I think it's just called a ripple blanket. I'm not really sure, but if I can find it, I will link it down below. And I thought, well, that's what I'm going to do. That'll be perfect because I love a good ripple blanket. I love them. I just find them very relaxing. And this pattern is the easiest, most simple one that I've ever done. She may have called it a crescent. I don't know. I have to look it up. But I started out, you know, making it. And I did all of this. I used almost a whole skein for each one of these big stripes, right? And I got that done. And I'm thinking, you know, it's getting awful long. I wished I'd made it wider, but I'm just going to go with it and do it and just finish it. And then I get to this last color. And I don't know what happened, but I am 2.5 rows short of having enough yarn. Now, my daughter says, oh, nobody will notice. And my husband says, I don't even know what you're talking about. Well, I know. And this was not cheap yarn, y'all. This is 100% merino. Let me see if I can find a label. No, that's not it. Lord, I've got every label in here but the ones that go with the yarn. Okay, here it is. It's this Cheeky Merino Joy. And it is a 100% organic merino, extra fine virgin wool. And it is it's machine washable, because when I bought this, I bought it in Colorado, and there's the front and back. And I asked her for suggestions for a baby blanket, and I wanted to make it out of natural fabric to kind of have something that he could have, you know, and I know acrylic lasts forever, good Lord, we know that, but I just wanted it to be something special. So, and this is colors that Sarah loves, you know, she wanted a natural kind of look, and she approved them because I did call her and ask her. But this was going to be for his birthday, but I have made a decision that I'm literally taking this whole thing out. But the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to start crocheting the blanket again, starting on this end. And I'm going to make it a little bit wider. And I'm going to add maybe 1 or 2 more rows into this, because I got a whole skein of it left. And just redo the whole blanket. And I'll use this to gauge how many rows I do of the other, so I don't run out. But I'm just going to redo the whole thing because I want this to be really special, and I want it to look pretty, or you know what I mean. And I'm so disappointed that I run out of that last color. Now this ended up being pretty big. It's pretty long, you know, so I do want to make it wider and shorter. So it's not a tragic thing, but this is my epic fail of the week because I was so close to finishing it. And when I just crocheting along, and I looked down and I'm out of yarn. I mean, it just shocked me. So, but anyway, that's the big epic fail. But the huge elephant in the room is that Rowan's first birthday's coming. And guess what I have not done? You know, something I've done every single month since he's been born is I've made him an outfit for his monthly monthly birth date. I don't know what to call it. And this is his 1-year-old birthday. And Sarah, you know, me and her was talking about 2 weeks into the month. I said, oh my goodness, Sarah, I have not made Rowan's outfit. And then, you know, they were coming and his brother was coming. And I just forgot about it until Monday. And I'm leaving in 2 days. Today's Wednesday. I'm leaving Friday night or Saturday. I think Saturday morning we're leaving. And I've not even started. I've washed the fabric, which is right here. She specifically asked for this as something he can wear later on, you know, throughout the winter. This is, when I pre-wash fabric, I'll just usually zigzag it. I don't know if y'all can even tell that's been zigzagged down through that. Maybe you can see it better on this side. There you go. And I'll just throw it in the washer so it don't fray all over the place. And I threw it in the washer and washed it. Well, my husband come back behind me and dried some towels. And then, thank goodness he does help me every once in a while if he's downstairs and he knows there's laundry in the washing machine. And he took this out and then got the towels out and threw them on top of it. And so it's terribly wrinkled. But this is like a fine weight corduroy. It's really soft. It has a little stretch to it. But what she wants me to make him is that outfit I made him that said Hello Summer, that's just got the bib overall top. It just crisscrosses in the back and has the bib here. And then it's got the little kind of bloomer-like shorts attached to it. She wants that, and she wants me to embroider something about being 1 year old. And she says, you know, I can put some long socks on him and a little white shirt, and he can wear it later in the year. And I said, okay, if that's what you want. Because I wanted to make him some real overalls, but that's not what she wanted. So that other will be easier anyway. But I've got to get all these wrinkles out because they've been laying under some towels. And I've got to get started on this today. If not, I've got to start first thing in the morning. This don't take me a long time to do. It's the embroidery design. I have to decide what I'm going to do and get it done and then put the outfit together. So I've also got another thing to show you guys. You know, I went on this big talk about how I'm not going to start another quilt except for those block of the months until I quilt some quilts that I've got. Well, I lied. I started another quilt. You know, I was feeling like I wasn't getting anything done. Everything was messing up. And I thought, you know, I'm going to do this quilt because it looks real simple. And also I want to challenge myself because it's sort of a scrappy quilt in a way. And by that I mean they give you a certain amount of fabric, but it's put together scrappy. And I'm the kind of person, I obsess over that. I mean, I have to think, oh, is that too much red in that block? Or is that too much of this in that block? And try to really rearrange them. Well, what I did is I challenged myself in this quilt to just pick up stuff blindly, put it together, and then when I got the blocks together, I didn't put them in any particular order. I just picked them up and put them together. And y'all, I'm so in love with this quilt. It's a very, very beginner-friendly quilt, and I am so in love with it. But of course, I hadn't quilted any quilts before I did this. So I told y'all a lie. I did another quilt top. So let me show it to you. I'm so in love with this quilt. I'm going to back you guys up a little bit. I hope I don't shake you too much. I'm going to try to go real slow. There we go. Y'all are seeing my mess. So I can show you this. Let me push everything out of the way. Okay. It's called, y'all, I've got this on it and it's going to shake when I lift it up. I'm sorry. Ugh. Okay. I'm going to get the pattern. The pattern's right over here, y'all. I'm going to grab it right quick as I step all over my quilt. It's called the Jolly Bar Christmas Stitched Collection. And that's it. And I got this as a kit through Fat Quarter Shop. And I love, love, love it. It's just a bunch of Christmas trees. They start out, y'all, one of these days I'm gonna get myself together and get a better place to film so y'all can see things better. But this is it. I'm gonna try to go and show you. It goes like that, and then it just basically, it's just all Christmas trees all over it. I'm gonna just kind of try to show y'all a little bit of it. But I'm so excited about this because I just picked things up and it worked out pretty good. Like I would have died putting the same fabric in the block, but I think it looks fine because when you look at the quilt, let me try to get back more, y'all. When you look at the quilt as a whole, it's not that bad. There's some places I think has a little bit too much matchy, but when you look at the whole thing, I love it. I absolutely love this. So I'm real excited. But I went, look at me. Y'all can see my raggedy sweatpants I've got on. I went ahead and did another quilt top, y'all. I'm obsessed with it. I can't help it. I love doing it. It's so relaxing and just so much fun. And it gets some of my creative energy out to where I can get back to my knitting and crocheting, which I'm loving now. And there's all kinds of things I'm wanting to make for Christmas. Like I've got a pattern that says holly and jolly and ho ho ho, you know, those kind of I think they use baubles to spell out the words. I bought those patterns like 2 or 3 years ago when I really got back into crochet, and I've been wanting to make them forever, and I am determined I'm gonna make at least one of those before Christmas. But that's what I've been up to the last couple of weeks. I've got a long sleeve shirt on now. I did get up to 76 degrees here, but it's been getting in the 50s at night, and it's just been so exciting. I love fall. I love it. And I've got white chicken chili right now in the crock pot because I know tonight it's going to get really cool, and it'll just be so nice. I had to turn my air conditioner on I'm going to leave it on for about 10 minutes because the upstairs got a little bit stuffy feeling, but we hadn't had our air conditioning on in like 2 days or 3 because it got really cold, I think Sunday night, and the house just was cold, and it was wonderful. I loved it. But anyway, you guys, I think that's all I've got to talk about. I will turn this off and think of 50 things. Oh, let me tell you what else I'm doing this week. On top of the things that I have to get done, like Rowan's outfit and tacking that quilt edge down, is I'm making cupcakes and a little smash cake for Rowan's party. Now, Sarah has told me, Mama, I can just order it. I can order it. Don't put all that pressure on you. But you guys, I love to bake. I mean, I love it. And I can't bake anything right now because I'm trying not to eat sugar. So this gives me an excuse to do it. Plus, I want to do it for his first birthday. So I've got all my ingredients together, and I'm making, which she didn't ask. She wanted something kind of fall because his birthday, I think his party's on the first day of fall. But I'm making pumpkin spice cupcakes with a cream cheese frosting, and I'm making vanilla cupcakes. Now, I wanted to do a strawberry frosting because I read a recipe for strawberry cream cheese frosting that you use freeze-dried strawberries in, that you like crush them up in a food processor or something. And that to me just sounds amazing because I love strawberry. I'm not a huge chocolate person. I love like lemon and strawberry and lime and coconut, that kind of thing, or vanilla. But I want to do that so bad. She said, but Mama, they'll be pink. I don't think it's a problem. I think I'm actually going to do some chocolate cupcakes and put the strawberry frosting on it. I think that'll be delicious. And all the extras, because I'm only taking like 30, 35 cupcakes, I'm going to take to my neighbor because they've had some health problems, and I'm going to take those because I will eat them if they're here. And y'all, I don't need to eat them. I've been trying so hard not to go back to my old ways because I really do feel better. I think the sugar, the main thing is cutting all that sugar out that I was getting from all the breads and the pastas and the sweets and stuff that I was eating actually makes me feel better in my joints and stuff. So now, does that mean I'm not going to try my cupcakes? Now listen, if you're taking cupcakes or sweets or food to someone else, don't you have to try them out first before you take them somewhere to make sure that they're okay? I think you have to. And I don't know about anybody else, but I do have some tried and true recipes for these 3 things, except for the pumpkin spice, because I used to make a pumpkin spice cake every year. Excuse me, y'all, at Thanksgiving that would use a cake mix a can of pumpkin. It was like a spice cake mix. And I was going to do that because I thought, oh, that'd be so simple. But they didn't have any spice cake mix. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I'm just going to make it the old-fashioned way, which I'm sure it's going to be fine. But I'm going to make a run of them Thursday to make sure they're okay. And I'm going to take those to the neighbors and just remake them again for the party, which will be fine. It'll be fine. I don't mind doing it. But I'm really excited. I get to make his first little birthday cake. But I will take pictures and show you guys in my next video because I'm excited. I know that I'm excited. I love to decorate cupcakes and do stuff like that. So I'm really excited about it. But I probably won't film me doing it, y'all, because I am so awkward trying to do that. I mean, I think, Lord, all you can see is my big belly, and I look a sight, and I'm spilling stuff everywhere, you know. I don't know. One of these days maybe, but hopefully. And plus, I don't have anything to hold my phone while I do stuff like that. So, but I am sorry. It is 30 minutes I've been talking to you guys, and I am so sorry. I didn't mean to ramble on so much, but I've missed you guys. But also, I wanted to remind you, if you haven't subscribed and you would like to, I'd appreciate it, because I do see a lot of people that watch my videos, they're actually not subscribed. Now, don't tell me who does that, but it just shows numbers. And I'll be honest with you, I'm really trying to learn all that because I don't understand the analytics and parts of that. But it does show you that a certain amount of people don't subscribe that watch. But I hope to be back next week. I hope I am, because I do have to make a run to North Carolina next week, and that always throws me off a little bit. But if not, I will see you guys soon, and I will definitely, hopefully, see you in the next video. And that sounded kind of dumb, didn't it? I hope to see you in the next video. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.